Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for making time for this class. We mentioned at the start of 2022 that this year we're going to be focused on conscious living, on awareness. Okay, while medicine exists around all of us and we have everything, we also have inner physicians. We have inner doctors built into us to help us with our healing. Have you ever figured out some people who have no access to hospitals in remote villages, they have no money to take treatments, they get through as well. Everyone doesn't die. A lot of people recover automatically. What's worked for them? Inner physicians. The inner physicians that we learn to activate today are not replacements for your doctors. They're not replacements for your nutrition program or anything else. It's for you to understand and to get some hope that while you only put your dependency on allopathy, or you only put your dependency on a chemotherapy or on a superfood to heal you, to help you recover, okay, there's a lot more that's happening in your body while you sleep, while you're awake, while you're sitting, while you're standing. That is your body's intelligence. That is your body's wisdom. One of the inner physicians out of many that we're going to talk, we have many inner physicians, and it's quite exciting to know that so many physicians exist in us that are working for us. Sometimes we compromise the working of these physicians, or we deactivate them because we live poor lifestyles, or we do things that switch off certain of these doctors, or sometimes they don't even work for us the right way because there's compromise. So we're going to talk about fasting today. It's such a confusing topic. Every talk I do, people have questions about how to fast, intermittent fasting, circadian fasting. So we're going to make it simple because simplicity is the new luxury. And we start off by understanding that everyone is unique. A lot of you are busy comparing yourselves with other people, and that's where your biggest problem is. You can fast 14 hours, but your friend fasted 18 hours, and all of a sudden you feel you're inadequate now, and you want to try 18 hours, but you can't do 18 hours because you get headaches and vice versa. This is not a game. Everyone is unique. Everyone is different. And also, let me tell you right up front, there are many people who don't even fast at all, and they're absolutely fine. They recover from their diseases. A lot of them don't have diseases, and they live happy, healthy lives. It's one of the physicians that we use. And if we can activate it, especially in a world that we're living like today, where people are constantly eating, you're constantly eating food all the time, snacks, your first meal isn't digested, you ate a meal. How many of you ate your lunch today just because it was lunchtime? But now when you think back, maybe you were not hungry, but you still ate your lunch. How many of you woke up and ate a breakfast just out of habit? But did you even check to see if you're really hungry? Like, for example, today, after many days, I didn't eat my lunch. I wasn't hungry. My lunchtime is usually after my live at about 1:45 or 2 o'clock. But today I'm not hungry, so I've not eaten my lunch. And maybe I'm reflecting on it. It could be because of my breakfast, where today I had 5 eggs. I had 3 whole eggs and I had 2 whites with a lot of greens in. I had a lot of spinach in, and one of our farmers sent us a lot of Swiss chard and stuff. So I put more greens. I think that fiber along with the protein filled me up. I didn't have a carb at breakfast. I didn't feel the need to. I had 2 glasses of beetroot juice, my morning vegetable juice, and I've been on that since morning, not hungry. So the first thing that we need to understand is most of us are living our lives based on habit. We don't even know we're hungry and we eat. Because it's snack time, we have a snack, but we're not hungry. And that's where most of the problems happen. So in most cases, you'll never have to fast if you follow the simple mechanism of the human body. Eat only when you are hungry. Now you'll say, but Luke, social media says this, doctors say this, companies say breakfast is the most important meal of the day. No, it isn't. If it is for you, have it. That's not a problem at all. I know people who wake up in the morning and they're ravenous and they should eat breakfast. And I know people who wake up, they're not hungry, and yet they're forced to eat breakfast. Children, college-going kids, they're not hungry, but yet their parents force them to eat. The point is, everyone is unique. You need to understand that. We don't need 3 meals in a day. We don't need 5 meals in a day. We don't need 6 meals in a day. Of course, specific people need it, like athletes who are on our plan, whether they're cricket players, football players. Some of them need 8 meals a day. Some of them need 5 meals a day. It depends on what their job is, or the kind of sport that they play. But we can't compare ourselves with athletes when we're not athletes, and we don't have the lifestyle of an athlete and try to eat 8 meals a day. There are so many bodybuilders today who thrive on 2 meals a day, and yet they're able to put in sufficient calories and protein to maintain their bodies. So the short point, in a nutshell, Everyone is unique. The day you stop comparing yourself and trying to copy people or put yourself into a box is the day that you will start to engage in smart fasting and actually activate your inner physician. Now, let's look at it this way. If you're a patient who's suffering from malnourishment, or you have gut issues, autoimmune conditions where you have a leaky gut and you're trying to fast, I mean, you're doing more harm than good. So there is a space, there is a place for fasting in everyone's life. You got to make an informed decision about it. Now, today I want to talk more about, in case there's too much of information, we move into a second part of fasting, but I have a feeling we may just complete it today because I don't want to go on and try to inspire you with the health benefits of fasting. Okay, we know that, we've covered it, but I am going to go through it in brief. Okay, while everyone thinks, if you are fasting for weight loss, right now, change your intention. Okay, if you think fasting is a tool for weight loss, you're going to be highly disappointed, because there are thousands of people there who fast and say, Luke, I'm fasting 16 hours, 17 hours, the scale isn't moving. That's because fasting is not a weight loss tool. Now, if you do fasting the right way, it can definitely help you burn fat. It can definitely help you lose weight. But that's not just the hours that you fast. It's what you do when you're not fasting as well. Okay, so please understand that right up front. Why I like fasting and why it's an inner physician, because number one, we're not meant to eat as much as we're eating today, period. We're also not meant to starve ourselves. A lot of people, they twist fasting into starvation. People are trying to starve the weight off their bodies. They're hungry, but they're forcing themselves not to eat and stuff like that. They lower their metabolism. They have deficiencies, and all of a sudden your body realizes something's wrong and moves into survival mode. If it doesn't get food, it starts to store fat to make its own reserves, knowing that you don't have a continuous supply of food. So you should never confuse smart fasting with starvation. You should never put yourself into a box of 14, 16, 18, 20. People who smart fast will realize that every day is different. On Monday, I did a 26-hour fast. On Tuesday, I did 17 hours. On Wednesday, I did 14 hours. Day before yesterday, I did my legs, and I did yoga, and I did a swim, and I just fasted for 12 hours because my body required more energy. So when you live mindfully and with consciousness, you realize that the hours can never be the same. How can they be the same when your body is constantly changing? One day you'll be in a lot of meetings using brain power, which also burns a lot of calories. And you'll find that you need more energy through your food. So it can never be the same. So the moment you put yourself into a box, you're a puppet. You're a puppet just trying to follow and keep yourself into a box. But when you embrace conscious living, you will learn that every day can be different. Number two, do you have to fast every day? Not necessarily. Absolutely. If you follow the laws of nature, you stop eating at sunset or a little bit after sunset, and you only eat your next meal after sunrise, you're anyway naturally doing 12 hours of powerful fasting. Why powerful? Because it's aligned with the circadian rhythm. We're going to talk about that separately. So you see, you don't have to fast every day. If you're living this way, you're anyway on a minimum doing 12 to 30. Most people are unconsciously doing 13 to 14 hours anyway. That's beautiful. Now, how can you take it to the 15, to the 16, to the 17 if you need it? Okay, so like I said, my first therapeutic benefit of this is the protective genes that fasting is able to activate in your system. All of us think we can protect our health, protect ourselves from aging with cosmetics and shampoos and creams and green teas and all of that stuff. You fail to understand that your genes, certain genes in your body like the FOXO3, the MOTOR genes, many more of them, the SIRT1 protein, all of them have the ability to self-protect us, to help us gracefully age, to protect our cells when cancer cells try to mutate. And they try to start a chain reaction of a cancer when tumor buildups happen. And that is the number one key fundamental of fasting. It activates self-protective genes. A lot of people are stuck on weight loss. And when you're stuck on only weight loss as your goal, that's when you get lured into traps like, non-sustainable diets, punishing your body, trying to force yourself to fast, randomly fasting without mindfulness, and you never get your result. You knock off 2, 3, 4 kilos, and all of a sudden, you stop. You stagnated. You start to put on more weight. You start to put on more weight than the weight that you lost. And that's when you start to get frustrated. There are no shortcuts. Fasting is a beautiful therapeutic tool, number one, for protective genes. The second thing that you need to understand about fasting is the human body is designed to fast and to feast. Evolution doesn't change. We are built for that. We are built for that. Because when there was a lack of food, people ate up. They ate a lot of food. It would store in their body and it would keep them going for a while. And then they could go through hours and hours, sometimes even days without food. And they wouldn't die because of that. Of course, you cross too many days, it is going to affect your health and could lead to death due to starvation. But we are meant to fast and to feast. Don't get too happy about that, okay? Feasting doesn't mean you go all out and stuff like that, but it does give you the freedom to enjoy those days or those weekends when you want to go all out, because you know you have fasting as an inbuilt mechanism on the other days. Works perfectly. It's not your shortcut, but you can use it without feeling guilty. So today's Friday evening, if I'm going to have a lot of food and stuff like that, and I want to enjoy myself, truly, I don't want to misuse and abuse my body, but I want to have a great time. I can fast tomorrow and it gets balanced. But if I try to do this all the time, every day I'm trying to junk and every day I'm trying to eat crap, for a while your body's going to get used to it because your body works on biology. It works on chemistry. It works on physiology. It doesn't work on math. So it doesn't work on calorie in, calorie out. I ate a Snicker bar, it's 250 calories. I'll cycle, burn 250 calories. It's done. It doesn't work that way. So you got to remember that. Why else should we be activating fasting? Diabetes, the biggest lie out there, that type 2 diabetes cannot be reversed. Type 2, type 1, very, very, very difficult. But type 1 can be made better. But type 2, it can be reversed. The insulin lie, as simple as that. There is no drug in the world that can work better than the natural insulin that you produce in your own body. We start to produce insulin when we start to fast. Now, of course, if you have your cells in your pancreas that produce insulin damaged, like in type 1 diabetes, an autoimmune condition that attacks your cells and you cannot produce it, of course, you need an external source of insulin. That's where medicine comes in. But for a type 2 diabetic who starts off on medication and then moves on to insulin, your body's only trying to tell you it's getting worse and worse. You're not changing your lifestyle and things are going to get really bad for you. I don't mean to scare you. I'm here to inspire you to think carefully, because your medical world will be more than happy to give you the second diabetic drug, the third, and then insulin, and then increase the amount of insulin you take. And with that, your fat gain goes up in the midriff area, in the belly area, all of that stuff. And as you start to put more fat, you start to store more energy, which again makes your cells more insulin resistant. So now you have a bigger problem. You have fat gain because of the insulin you're taking, and your diabetes just gets worse and worse. So you understand you get yourself into a vicious cycle. Can you break the vicious cycle? Absolutely, yes. By lowering your insulin, not your pharmaceutical insulin. How do you lower your insulin? By fasting. Now, a lot of people understand if you're highly diabetic, you got to do this supervised, because if you don't do the supervised or you're not doing it mindfully, you can go into hypo, and that's dangerous for you. But most of our clients who have reversed their type 2 diabetes and got enough insulin and medication have done it through smart fasting, starting off with 10 hours, then 11, then 12. Blood sugar level still good, then 13, then 14. And your body's repairing and its own intelligence is getting harnessed and the repair work is happening. The insulin resistance is getting better and better. And all of a sudden, you don't need insulin anymore. Guess what? You're reversing your type 2 diabetes. Let's talk about fat loss now. Okay, let me talk about the other benefits. Everyone's chasing growth hormones in the market. It's a way to grow taller. It's a way to look more beautiful, get tighter skin and stuff like that. Unusual growth hormone injection in the US can cost you anywhere between $350 to $600. I know money's not a problem for everyone, but do you also know that the easiest way to make growth hormones in your body is through fasting? When you sleep well and you fast, you produce superior quality growth hormones that no pharmaceutical industry can ever match up to. But there's a whole industry. Come, take our growth hormones, pump yourself, build your muscles, build that six-pack, build that body. You can produce growth hormones while you sleep. What do you need growth hormones for? Your skin, your hair, the elasticity of your skin. Everyone is on the whole collagen bandwagon. I don't have a problem with collagen. But if you're not producing growth hormones, your collagen is useless. You're just wasting tons of money. You can have the best glowing skin through fasting. There is no cosmetic product, I can guarantee you this, that can give you a better glow than fasting. Try it. If it existed, everyone would be glowing. Everyone would buy that magic cream and everyone would be glowing. But most people aren't. And they're on their fifth and sixth and seventh brand of cosmetics. And yet it's not working. Fasting produces growth hormones. Fasting turns on genes that are beneficial for the human body, your immune system, inflammation, your brain, your organs, your vital organs like your heart, your lungs, your liver. And fasting can also turn off the bad genes. All of us have good and bad genes. If you turn on the bad gene because of your poor lifestyle, you could have any disease or any problem related to the bad gene, the instruction that comes from your gene. But therapeutic fasting can switch off the bad genes or delay the manifestation of those bad genes into a disease. So fasting is therapeutic. Number one, we have to understand this point. Eating takes energy. Every time you eat, it takes energy. Eating is energy consuming. That's why when you fall sick, the first thing that gets cut is your appetite. The wisdom of your body does this. It cuts down your appetite to save energy for healing. You need energy to produce growth hormones that's going to repair that wound that you have, or the inflammation in your cells, or the destruction of your cells. You need loads and loads of energy for recovery. If you've ever been a patient of cancer and you've gone through chemo or therapy, or let's talk about COVID. Why are so many people so fatigued after the viral overload? Because of the amount of inflammation it's produced, and you have no energy no matter what. Energy is required for that healing, and that's why we tell people hydrate and rest. There's no medication on this planet that can bring those energy levels back to you unless you do the basics, the right food, energy levels, rest, and hydration. So automatically, in the animal kingdom and in the human species, when we fall sick, our appetites fall. But here, as human beings, we tend to eat more when we're sick because we feel sorry for ourselves, or we're bored, we're sitting at home, we'll Zomato some food or Swiggy some food and all of that stuff, and you're just making your condition worse. You're diverting energy towards starting your digestive system to break down mostly a crappy meal that you order when you're sick. I don't know anyone who try to order soups and stuff like that. You want to feel good, you order all your comfort foods. And now the amount of energy that goes into breaking that food down, that's where fasting comes in again. Smart fasting. If you're frail and you need energy and stuff and you're trying to fast, that's stupidity. You got to make an informed decision. You should understand that we can go hungry for a long, long time. It's only what's in your mind. Oh, I'm hungry, I'm going to get a headache. What's wrong with a headache for a while? Hunger comes, hunger goes. A headache will come, a headache will also go. You have to understand that. It's different if you have a chronic migraine and stuff like that. Hunger comes and hunger goes. You want to realize the statement of mine? Try it. Don't eat your next meal today until you're hungry. And when you're really hungry, like physically hungry, not emotionally or not out of habit because it's your dinner time, wait for another 30 minutes. In most cases, your hunger will disappear. Okay? If it disappears, you can still eat. Okay? You don't have to be extreme. But I want you to self-realize this. That when you get hungry tonight, wait for 30 minutes more. Wait for 30 minutes more. Okay? If you start to get highly acidic, all of that stuff, just eat. But the point is wait, and you will find that hunger comes and hunger goes. Now, what happens when hunger comes? Beautiful intelligence kicks into your system. You're hungry. The body knows you need food. What does it do? It starts to drop your natural insulin levels so that your fat cells can open up. If you believe that you can burn fat off your body with exercise, you're highly mistaken. You can't. Insulin has to drop as a signal for your cells, your fat cells to open up, and now your exercise can burn fat. That is why fasted workouts suit so many people, and people start really burning fat. And of course, some people need to eat before. Everyone's different. But you cannot burn fat. You cannot open fat cells without the key, which is insulin. So when insulin is high, guess what? You're storing more fat. When insulin is low, you're opening up cells, and now if you exercise or now you start making dietary changes, you actually start to burn fat. All of your other fad programs that get you to lose weight on the scale 1, 2, 3, 4 kilos in a month, most of it is water weight. If you're losing weight and you're losing inches, your program is right for you. If you're only losing scale weight, but you're not losing inches, you're not burning fat at all. So coming back to diabetes, plays a huge, huge role. Do it in an informed way. Break away from what the fears that people have put you. If you don't, diabetics have to eat all the time. No, you don't have to eat all the time. You don't. That's the biggest lie. That is the biggest lie. You may have to eat a little more frequently depending on how your blood sugar levels come down. Eat according to your sugar levels. That's why I tell diabetics who really are struggling with this, get yourself a CGMS monitor, a continuous glucose monitoring device. 14 days will give you the best feedback that no nutritionist, no doctor can ever give you. It will show you which foods spike up your levels, which foods don't. And it'll be so surprising to see whether you're carb efficient, protein efficient, fat efficient, and even the timings of your meal, how it makes such a big difference to you. So the whole point is, even I can't tell you. If you take a consult with me tomorrow, I can't tell you for the first 10 days what food suits you, which food is good for you, and which isn't, because you're different. I can give you millets, which apparently is good for most diabetics, but we've seen millets spike up the blood sugar levels of so many diabetics. I've seen diabetics with whole wheat flour. Their levels are beautiful. And I've seen some of them, it spikes up their levels more than white flour. Everyone is different. My point is, we're not talking about diabetes today. Fasting is therapeutic for diabetes. Fasting is therapeutic for every disease. Today, we have medical science showing us that chemotherapy patients who take their chemotherapy in a fasted state, about 12 hours, some people do 15, 16, it's up to the patient, and they sail through without side effects. Unbelievable, right? The body's prepared. You're going into chemo with a full stomach and your body's trying to break down. All energy is, you need the energy to get through your treatment. You need the energy for your immune system. So that's another benefit. Okay, another benefit of fasting, your hair, your skin, PCOS, hormonal imbalances. But again, if you overdo it with fasting, you can also create a hormonal imbalance. You got to understand that. You're a patient of thyroid and you try to overfast too much, you're overtraining, not sleeping, fasting so much, your thyroid will get worse and worse and you cannot reverse your thyroid. Otherwise, you can. So many people today are off their thyroid medication completely. So many people with an autoimmune condition like a Hashimoto's thyroid, the immune system's learned to relax. Guess what? The doctor reduces the medication. Now they're on a minimum dosage. And a lot of them eventually get off that medication. Fasting, again, you got to understand your digestive system utilizes almost 70 to 80 to 90% of your total body energy. Now, what if my system had a break? Where is that energy going? Cleaning up dead cells in your system, your bones, regulating stem cells, your repairing, bringing down inflammation, going to parts of the body where where your body needs energy. How many of you have fasted and you realize during your fast, your energy levels, after you have the break point, like I got my break point in my 22nd hour on Monday. After 22 hours, I was flying. I mean, I couldn't think of food. I didn't want to eat food. I didn't even want to break my fast at 26 hours. I had so much of energy. Where is that energy coming from? All the energy that otherwise digestion would have used. So you see, energy heals, energy recovers. There's energy in medicine, there's energy in water, there's energy in food, and there's this energy, the intelligence in your body is energy. And that's the only energy that can really, really heal you. Food, medicine, all of these things play a role, but harnessing your natural energy, that's why we conserve energy all the time. Mindlessly talking to people, shouting to people who don't matter, all of that, you're wasting energy. When you learn how to conserve energy, that energy goes towards healing, rejuvenation, and everything in the human body. So that's another point. There is no drug that can bring down insulin levels as naturally and as safely as fasting. Remember that. Liver problems, kidney problems, any problem in your body, fasting has a place, but you got to do it. The more serious your issue, the better you have to do it in a supervised fashion. Because sometimes your medication is required to be taken with food or before food or after food and at a specific time. That doesn't mean you can't fast. You can have that. And now what's the fasting hours I build in between? If I can't do fasting, can I follow a concept of eating only when I'm hungry? Some more beauty in hunger. So now let's go back to that point where I left you at. You're hungry now. You don't eat. You decide to push it a little bit. What happens in your body? Your body sends signals, massive, massive communication to your brain. I need energy, but I'm not getting it. Okay, you move into the fight and flight response. Your cortisol levels, your adrenaline levels rise up. okay? Because now your body doesn't know anything about a fridge or a cupboard of food or some Zomato or a Swiggy that you can order food from. It is now moving you, giving you more energy to search for food. Go back to the hunters and gatherers. So hunger was the stimulant that get up, go and search for your food. It's different today that we can order food at the click of a button. We have food in our cupboard, in our fridge at all given points. But hunger is a natural survival mechanism that gives you more energy. It'll send more blood to your muscles. Get up and search for food. So guess what? Try this against self-realization. The next time hunger kicks in, do 4 minutes, 10 minutes of a workout, skipping, Tabata, whatever it is. And you realize after that, you're not going to be hungry for the next 2 to 3 hours. Your body is now on drive to search for food. Now, there's more beauty and science to this. Okay, let's say you find that food. Okay, you have that food and you settle down to eat. Now your immune system is all on alert, looking out for germs, viruses that, whenever we eat, our immune system is on alert. That's how the human body works. Your immune system has to be on alert in case you've ingested a poison or a bacteria or pathogens or germs from your food to protect you. Okay, now everything you eat in that hunger, your body is going to efficiently extract nutrients from it, far more in a superior way than when you're not hungry. Because now the body's only looking at one thing: get food, break it down as quickly as possible, absorb it as quickly as possible. Blood circulation carries all of those nutrients to trillions of cells in the human body. So when you eat, when you're hungry, your digestion is at optimum efficiency. Everything works beautifully. So now let's say tomorrow's the weekend, you have this big dinner and you really want to eat well, okay? Eat that dinner well only when you're hungry. So you build hunger towards that. You build hunger towards that, knowing that when you eat that meal, your body's going to break it down beautifully. Now, eat that meal. I didn't say overeat that meal. Overeating has no space for us, okay? Because it's not because Luke says that, it's simple science. Okay, if your body doesn't have a requirement for excess energy from the excess food you're eating, it's going to store it. As simple as that. You're going to store it. You keep accumulating junk at home and you don't throw it out, you're going to store it somewhere, right? You got to store it somewhere. So you don't overeat, but eating with hunger is a beautiful thing. As you master this, you'll find that when you eat with hunger, you'll actually start eating lesser. Why? Because your body is extracting nutrition at an optimum level way faster than when you eat when you're not hungry. So you see, certain patients may not be able to fast 12 to 30 to 14 hours because of schedules or cycles of the medication, but they can embrace eating only when they are hungry. And again, this happens with self-realization. Like for me, I need that breakfast. I can't get through my consults. I need that dinner as well, but I don't need a lunch. I'm learning that with my system. I can do away with a lunch. I can go down to maybe just a sattu shake or a light salad, and because I'm not hungry. Now, it's going to be different for everyone. Sometimes if I do a heavy workout in the morning, lunch may become important for me, and by 3 or 4 in the afternoon, my system shuts down. I don't need more food, so I don't eat dinner. Works beautifully. Everyone is different. Respect the uniqueness within you. So these are some. Autophagy. Everyone talks about autophagy. I want autophagy to set in and stop. Autophagy is different. It can set into you in 18 hours. It cleaner your system. It can set in 16 hours. The more toxic your system, maybe you need 24 hours, 26, 32 hours. The point is when you fast regularly, or when you build in intermittent fasting, that's what the word is, intermittent is. I eat, I fast, I eat, I fast. Automatically, you don't have to worry about things like autophagy. Although I do encourage everyone at least twice a month, try to do a longer fast if you can. So if my average is 14 hours, I'm trying to hit 24 hours at least once in 12 days, or at least twice or thrice in a month. That's the complete autophagy cycle, the complete. Certain patients, cancer, we have them fasting for 3 days. Certain people on their own, they fast for 2-3 days. They're doing an entire cycle of autophagy. It's working. Everyone is different. Again, everyone is different. Now, autoimmune conditions. When you have a flare-up of your autoimmune conditions, like you have that flare-up of arthritis or that flare-up of eczema or psoriasis or your Hashimoto's, fasting will reduce the flare-ups. It's beautiful. Try it. When you have the flare-ups, fast. The flare-ups will come down. Why? Your immune system automatically relaxes. It automatically relaxes. So for most people, fasting is therapeutic therapeutic for autoimmune conditions. I'm not saying it's going to cure you, but it's definitely going to reduce the flare-ups. And because autoimmune is also helping you, fasting is also helping you rejuvenate your gut microbiome and everything else. That's why it plays a role even in your recovery from autoimmune conditions. Now, let's go straight into smart fasting. What is smart fasting? You would have figured it out by now. 10 hours, fine. New beginner, 8 hours is also fasting. It is fasting. You have fasted from food for 8 hours. Welcome to the journey of fasting. Tomorrow it's 9 hours, then it's 10, then it's 12, then it's 14. 14 is your sweet point. Continue with that. One day you wake up and you realize that 14 hours, it's time to break my fast, but I'm not hungry. Move on to the 15, 16. Challenge yourself without beating up yourself. Challenge yourself. Every day is going to be different. That is smart fasting. Smart fasting is only with water. No coffee, no tea, no lemon juice. Smart fasting. Fat fasting, drink all the coffee in the world. You're not really fasting. Anything that starts your digestive system, you're not fasting. Fasting, in its truest sense, is the shutdown of your digestive system. Plain water. Now, some religious fasts allow fruit, milk, of course, that's your religious fast. You can call that fasting and do that for on those particular days. You have only nuts or you have only certain grains and stuff. That's also great for you. But real smart fasting is only water. And if you're doing dry fasting, there's no water and there's no food. So let me introduce you to integrated fasting. So when I did my 26 hours of fast, 14 hours of that were dry. I didn't drink water. Then on the 15th hour, I said, now let me have water. So I still continued smart fasting, but I broke the dry and I moved into wet. Until 26 hours, I continued having water. So you can do integrated fasting because even dry fasting is therapeutic for you if you do it the right way. For dry fasting, you should be hydrated during the time that you're not fasting. But most people are dehydrated and then they try to do dry fasting when they're dehydrated. And that's when all the harm comes to your kidneys, your cells, your metabolism, your skin, your hair. So dry fasting is a whole different video. We talk about that separately, maybe in our next class. So I can integrate dry fasting and I can integrate wet fasting and increase my fasting window. That is smart fasting as well. Now, when you break your fast, it's simple. You don't want to break your fast with something that's highly acidic and stuff like that. Definitely not coffee, which is why people who fast on coffee, ask yourself, coffee is one of the most acidic beverages. Coffee is a beverage that stimulates your cortisol and adrenaline in a huge way. When you're fasting, the therapeutic benefits of fasting is rest for your digestive system. But here you are putting stimulants into your blood, into your system. Fad fasting, coffee. You want therapeutic fasting, you want to activate your inner physician, which fasting is one of them, water or dry or both together. Nothing else. So you break your fast with water if you were dry fasting. If you were wet fasting, you can have a little bit of lemon water if lemon suits you. You can have a fruit. Fruits are the best because fruits are best absorbed on empty stomachs. That's why we never have fruits after meals. So you can have your fruits, beautiful, you get a nice spike in energy, your system's going to absorb all of the nutrients, and then you break out into your gentle breakfast. The choice is yours. Some people break it with dates. It's a great idea to break it with dates as well because nutrients, blood sugar levels go up a little bit and energy. And then maybe 15 to 20 minutes later, get back to your normal day and eat well. Now, in your non-fasting hours, don't try to diet. Don't try to starve yourself because that is your building phase. There's a fasting phase and there's a building phase. The building phase, like the word says, is building. Now's the time that the body's hungry for nutrients, raw materials to build, to repair, to store, all of that stuff. It's looking for macronutrients, it's looking for micronutrients. Okay, so if you try to diet in your building phase, it's nothing short of stupidity. If you try to starve yourself in the building phase, nothing short of stupidity. The beauty of a fast is it allows you to feast in the building phase. Now, feast not in a bad way. Now, with alcohol and cakes and pastries and all of that stuff. No, feast on good food. And the beauty of fasting is you can enjoy a dessert more liberally than people who can't when they're on fad diets. Because guess what? Your body's going to be so high on metabolic power, it's going to break down that slice of cake. It's going to break down that bag of chips that you ate and stuff like that. So you can be a little bit more free and liberal with yourself. Don't make it a bad habit. It's very easy for junk food to become a bad habit because it's addictive. but so much of liberty. And that's why people who smart fast, they love their lives. They eat what they want. They do the basics, they exercise, they sleep, their meditations, they fast, and in their building phase, they enjoy life. They don't act like birds just, pecking on pumpkin seeds and sunflower seeds and salads all the time. They go out with their friends, they have a coffee, they have a pastry, they eat something, they live life fully. You don't have to go through extremes. Understand that. The healthiest people in the world do not adopt extreme measures. They adopt balance, and they're happy people. They're happy people. Most people who struggle with weight issues today, unfortunately disease or whatever and stuff like that, most of them are not happy people. And I'll tell you this over and over again. A happy mind is a happy body. To be happy at a physical level, you've got to be happy at a mental and emotional level. Now, being happy doesn't mean that you have to be continuously happy. Of course, there'll be struggles, there'll be sadness, there'll be, struggles in your life, but you choose to be happy irrespective of everything. You go through that dark phase, but because you've chosen happiness, and your psychological fundamental of the human body is to be happy. How do we know that? We learn that from children. We learn that from children. Their innocence, their happiness, they forget so quickly. They can forgive so quickly. Why? Because the physiological state of a human being is to be happy. As simple as that. And then as they grow up and parents put their own fears on them and society puts their own fears on them, they start to develop all the layers that you and me have. And you find it difficult. Now suddenly happiness is a struggle. How can it be a struggle when the physiological fundamental condition of the human species is to be happy? So of course you'll have a bad day. A bad day doesn't mean a bad life. Of course you may have a couple of breakups. It doesn't mean that love doesn't work. Maybe your marriage isn't too good. It doesn't mean marriage doesn't work. That phase in your life isn't working. So you have to understand that happiness at the end of the day, so there are people fasting, getting deeper and darker into fasting, unhappy. Fasting is not therapeutic for you. Therapy works with the right emotional state of mind as well. So coming back to your building phase, don't try to starve yourself and say, oh, I'll get brownie points, my weight will go faster because I fasted 16 hours and now maybe if I eat like a bird, I'll lose more weight. No, all you will do is compromise your metabolism. And now your body will actually store more weight, more fat, and it will slow down your metabolism because your body only cares about conserving energy. The moment it figures out that you're trying to starve it, every meal you eat, it is storing fat because it is in survival mode. It doesn't know when you're going to feed it the next time. So it starts to store fat. That's why rhythms are important. Don't start fasting one day at 9 o'clock in the night, the next day at 10 o'clock, the next day at 6 o'clock, the next day at 2 a.m. in the morning. You need to build a rhythm for fasting. So if you can't have sunset, that's fine. Can you do 1 hour after sunset? Good, but then make it a rhythm. If you can't, and maybe you work late or whatever, and you have to eat your meal at 9 in the night, then let your fasting start every day or the days that you choose to fast at 9 in the night. There has to be a rhythm. And that brings us to the circadian rhythm of fasting. You can't go wrong with this. 12 hours of circadian rhythm is far more powerful than 18 to 19 to 20 hours of people fasting at different timings every day. Because it's aligned with the laws of nature. And it's aligned with your light and dark phases that controls every single cell and every single clock in the human body. Circadian rhythm fasting is as simple as this. The moment the sun sets, you stop eating. The moment the sun rises, your metabolism, everything changes. Now you can eat. But guess what? If you're not hungry, you can extend your fast. Every religion talks about this. This is not my invention. Every religion, the wisdom of every spiritual path talks about stopping to eat after sunset because there are new functions that are happening in your body. And only eat after sunrise. Now, of course, to be practical in today's world, that may not be possible for everyone, but then at least try to adhere to a closer sunset. If the sun sets at 6:30, maybe you can eat at 7:30, that's fine, at least you're making an effort. Maybe not 7:30, 8, still good, but try to align with the circadian rhythm. So that's another kind of fasting, circadian rhythm fasting. 16:8, 17:9, all of that is man-made. That is man-made. If 16:8 works for you, please do it. But do it with some amount of common sense, some amount of not putting yourself into a box and stuff like that. And that's all it takes to fast. If you're fasting and your body starts, behaving erratically, listen to your body. You don't blame fasting. Maybe you're fasting on a body that has been so used to junk food that you're craving, and now your hunger is more out of addiction than actual hunger. So be patient with yourself. The best way to start smart fasting is select the hours that you're comfortable with, and then do that for 3 days. Get used to it. Then add on. You can even add on one more hour at a time. Be patient with yourself. When you're comparing yourself, everything is lost. The first day may be a little bit difficult because out of habit, you're used to eating. The second day will get easier. The third day, you'll be asking yourself, why didn't I ever do this before? So try it. And if fasting doesn't suit you, like I said, do not do it. These are the simple fundamentals of smart fasting. Fundamentals never change. They never change. Like you throw an apple up, it comes down. The law of gravity, it's a fundamental. There's a fundamental of how electricity flows. No one can change that no matter what. The sun rises, the sun must set. That's a fundamental law of nature. Like that, these are the fundamentals of fasting. It doesn't matter how many hours, when, all of that stuff. No, fasting is the abstinence from food. How can I start creating that? And if you can't fast, can you start eating only when you are truly hungry? This may throw your entire schedule out of place. But right now, most people are at home. You can try it. But where there's a will, there's a way. 3 months ago, I was practicing this when I was in Dubai, and it worked just so fantastically. I just didn't eat my meals. I ate when I was hungry. And after a while, your body kind of aligns to it. So I knew that 5 o'clock, strange time in the evening, but that was my meal time. So I didn't have consults at 5 o'clock, and I made it my meal time. I could do that. But we have to try to work practicality in our life. Some people may not be able to do it. So you figure out a cycle that works for you. But hunger is a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing, especially if you've been eating too much. And as you train your body to fast and to eat when hungry, guess what? The cravings start to disappear. All of your sugar cravings, all the additional cups of coffee and tea that you keep taking throughout the day to keep you energized, all of that automatically goes without you having to use willpower. Your appetite also starts to shrink in a good way because your body is now working on this beautiful mechanism of using energy, storing only the energy it needs and using it according to your physical demands. So everything gets fine-tuned automatically without you having to use your willpower. So this is what smart fasting is. Maybe at some point we'll do a masterclass on dry fasting and all of the benefits around it. But dry fasting is simple. Like I said, it is fasting without water. Make an informed decision. Do it the right way. It is as therapeutic as any fasting can be. But this is a physician that we all have within us. Within us. Now that you understand the science behind it, all of that, everything that your mind's filled with fears or people saying, don't the way you want at your own pace in your own life. So I think the homework is simple. You can enjoy your weekends. I love my weekends because I fast. I don't have to think. I don't have to wonder, oh, should I eat this? My relationship with food is fantastic. I don't label the food as good or bad. If it's a bad food, I'm going to eat and enjoy it. But because I fast, I know my body has the ability to break it. That makes me happy. I don't want to be restricted from foods. That would make me sad. And an unhappy mind is an unhappy body. As simple as that. So everyone who has a bad relationship with food, you would have understood by now, your knowledge is only very, very at the top. You've not gone deeper to understand that your body has an intelligence to break down all of these foods, good or bad. You overdo it, of course, anything in excess is going to be bad for you. But use fasting as a doctor for diseases. I wrote a book called The Dry Fasting Miracle, and it starts off with a young boy who came to me with a tennis ball sized tumor in his brain. And the hospital sent it to me saying that, hey, Luke, I had a note that no treatments are working. Can you keep him comfortable? This boy dry fasted and he lived on. He had a very, very serious 4th stage glioblastoma, which is a brain cancer with a very low survival rate. That boy lived on to celebrate his birthday, dry fasting again. And it's in the book. Nothing worked. All the drugs had stopped. It was not working. The dry fasting, he was not thirsty. He was not hungry. So we made sure that he had regular amounts of water to keep him hydrated, but we kept him for 12 to 14 hours dry fasting. And some days he fasted for 24 hours because he was not hungry. If he was not hungry, the body was already trying to activate its intelligence. And it was unbelievable how this boy got an extension. Maybe it didn't break down the tumor, it didn't give him life, but it gave him an extension of life with quality. And like that story, there are thousands of stories of how people have reversed their conditions with fasting. But like I said, fasting is not a replacement for your condition, for your medication. It can be when it's done the right way. But you got to do it the right way, and you got to keep your professionals in the loop. Have a great evening, everyone. Have a great weekend. You may want to start practicing right away. You may be scared, but like I said, you don't have to be scared. It's within your control. Let's say you started to do 8 hours fasting today and you got hungry in the 7. Eat. Tomorrow, try again. And then you'll achieve 8 and then achieve 9. And then you may fail, or maybe you'll be comfortable with 9 for 3 days. And then automatically your body will be, okay, now I'm going to push for 10. And all of a sudden you do it with 12 or 14 and you'll surprise yourself and you'll find your own inspiration and motivation. Have a great weekend, everyone.